Hello, Inedigabitti, this is Nocturne Gallery. You can learn something new about art in this video, or if you just want to enjoy the paintings and music, switch the audio track to Esperanto. There you'll hear only the music and see the artworks. Relax and enjoy art your way. Welcome to the Nocturne Gallery.
Glad to be here.
Today we're looking at a really fascinating Spanish figure, Aureliano de Beruete.
Ah, yes, Beruete. He's interesting because he wasn't just a landscape painter, though a great one.
Right. He was also this major intellectual figure, wasn't he?
Absolutely. A respected critic, an art historian. He really stood at a crossroads.
Between, classic Spanish painting and what was emerging then, modernism.
Exactly. The old masters and the new ways of seeing. And he wasn't just following trends.
No, it seems like he had real authority. I mean, being known as an expert on Velázquez, that's serious credibility.
It is. Deep technical knowledge. But his real sort of artistic passion seemed to focus geographically.
On Toledo. That ancient city just captured him.
It really did. And that combination, the sharp critic's eye and the passionate painter's hand, that's what makes his Toledo work so compelling, I think.
Okay, so before we dive into the views of Toledo, maybe we should unpack that critical side a bit more. Understand his intellectual framework.
Good idea. It
Right.
definitely informs the landscapes.
So Beruete was definitely part of the intellectual elite in Madrid.
Oh, no question. He was friends with people like Manuel Picasso, the big art historian.
And he had this reputation, the serene and technical biographer of Velázquez. Sounds quite formal.
It does, but what's striking is how he used that technical grounding. He respected the masters, obviously Velázquez, but he wasn't afraid to challenge common ideas.
Like with El Greco.
Yeah,
Because he really admired El Greco, didn't he?
deeply. And back then, the popular story about El Greco, with the elongated figures.
People said he was mad or had bad eyesight or something.
Exactly. That was the common explanation for the distortions. Beruete just dismissed it.
How? On what grounds?
He argued it wasn't madness or a defect at all. It was a failure by people to understand the intensity
The intensity of
sentiment behind the work. For Beruete, El Greco wasn't flawed. He was the true voice of a certain Spain noble, deeply religious, mystical.
So he saw purpose in those exaggerations.
Absolutely. He talked about El Greco's particular mysticism.
How did he describe the figures?
He mentioned them sometimes looking like specters, of disproportionate size and livid faces, but it wasn't a criticism.
It was about capturing a spiritual feeling.
Precisely. And crucially, in portraits, he praised El Greco for getting inside the subject.
Not just the surface likeness.
No, not at all. It was about the intimate and personal self, the psychology. That's what Beruete valued.
Okay, so that focus on sentiment, on the inner reality, that must be what he brought to his own landscape work, especially with Toledo.
I think that's exactly right. He wasn't just painting pretty pictures of Toledo, he was interpreting it.
Let's get into Toledo then. It became his main subject, right?
Yeah.
After the area around Madrid.
Oh, definitely. And it wasn't just a passing fancy. This was a serious long-term commitment.
How long are we talking?
Decades. We know he submitted, I think, 20 specific paintings of Toledo to the big national exhibitions between 1884 and 1906.
20. Wow. That's dedication.
It is. He carried out this sort of visual circumvallation of the city.
Circumvallation? Like circling it, studying it from all sides?
Pretty much, yeah, like laying siege to it visually. He painted it from everywhere.
So constantly shifting his viewpoint.
Constantly, from spots like the Vega Baja, the Cruz de los Canónigos, the Vergón del Valle, the Figueral de Infantes, all these key vantage points around the perimeter.
He wasn't just painting buildings then. He was capturing the whole, the essence, the silhouette.
The silhouette was key. That skyline, usually seen above the Tahoe River.
What features stand out in those panoramic views?
Well, you always get that dense cluster of buildings, churches, houses in those characteristic tones like brick red, rose, ash gray.
And specific landmarks?
Depending on where he stood, yeah. You'd see the Alcázar, very prominent. Or the cathedral spire, the dome of San Ildefonso, the Gothic lines of San Juan de los Reyes. They emerge from the mass.
He must have really mastered capturing that specific atmosphere.
He did. There's one painting from 1893, Vista de Toledo desde la Virgen del Valle.
View of Toledo from the Virgen del Valle, right?
Yeah, that one's often seen as a real high point of his middle period.
What's special about it?
The composition, the way the different planes are built up, but especially the color, these really fine pearly grays and greens.
Pearly grays.
Yeah.
Sounds very subtle.
Very subtle. It led to comparisons with Corot, the French landscape painter, that kind of atmospheric quality.
So his technique wasn't static. It evolved. You mentioned he moved towards something like Impressionism.
Well, yes and no. He definitely started moving away from just careful drawing and muted colors. He got more interested in light, in atmosphere.
More analytical?
Yeah, an analytical spirit, approaching what some call tonal divisionism.
Okay, what does that mean in practice on the canvas?
It means the texture becomes really important. You see him using all sorts of brushstrokes together.
Like what?
Long, sweeping strokes, maybe for the sky, but then also really thick, pasty, almost tangled strokes, cross-hatching, and lots of short, separate dabs of color placed next to each other.
To create a kind of vibration.
Exactly. Seeking this overall unity, this homogeneous texture that captures the light, he got really good at those subtle gray harmonies.
Almost silvery, someone said.
Almost silvery in tone,
Yeah.
yeah. It gives the landscapes this unique, shimmering feel, very atmospheric.
It's amazing he could capture so much history with those subtle tones. But then it gets even more complex, right? He starts using Toledo symbolically.
He does. It moves beyond just capturing the look or even the mood of the place.
Becomes a metaphor.
A historical metaphor, yeah. Especially after 1898.
The Spanish-American War, the loss of the colonies, a huge national trauma.
A massive blow to the national psyche, and that sense of melancholy, of anxiety about Spain's place in the world starts to really permeate his Toledo paintings.
So Toledo becomes a stand-in for Spain itself, a symbol of faded glory.
Pretty much. That interpretation deepens significantly. The city becomes a canvas for the national mood.
Is there one painting that really shows this shift?
Yes, definitely. There's a painting from 1904 called El Cementerio Viejo, the Old Cemetery.
The Old Cemetery. Sounds pretty bleak.
It is. It's a very gloomy scene. He actually won a medal for it, interestingly.
What does it depict?
The foreground is this abandoned, ruined cemetery. You see broken, worn gravestones, weeds growing everywhere, these stark granite obelisks, dark cypress trees. It's all decay and neglect.
Very somber. And Toledo?
Toledo's in the background, just the contour, ash-colored, with the Alcazar standing out.
So you have the decaying cemetery right in front of the historic, seemingly eternal city.
Exactly. And Beruete uses that contrast deliberately. The decay of the cemetery, the Camposanto, becomes an analogy.
An analogy for Toledo itself.
For the inert image of Toledo, as one source puts it. He's linking the cemetery's decay to this feeling of sad decadence, the stagnation that fin-de-siècle anxiety felt across Spain.
Wow. So he's using his mastery, the skills he honed studying Velázquez, for something deeply emotional and, well, political in a way.
In a way, yes. It's historical commentary through landscape. He proved it wasn't just about pretty views.
It could carry real psychological weight.
Absolutely. By painting Toledo relentlessly, from all angles, in all moods, he wasn't just documenting it, he was capturing its soul, or perhaps the soul of the nation projected onto it.
A city often described as sleeping or motionless.
And he managed to synthesize this deep Spanish sentiment, this historical weight, with his move towards more modern techniques, like that tonal divisionism.
It's quite a combination. Technical skill meets profound feeling.
It really is. He used the detailed observation of a place to explore the inner landscape of a nation's spirit.
So what really stands out then about his legacy? What's the main takeaway?
For me, it's how he used the seemingly objective study of landscape, this very permanent physical thing, to conduct such a penetrating emotional examination of something transient. The national mood, the historical moment. Toledo became his stage.
A stage for a national feeling, almost a tragedy.
You could say that.
Okay, so here's a final thought for you, our listener, to mull over. When an artist like Beruete focuses so intensely, almost obsessively, on one single place like Toledo, are they ultimately painting the place itself?
Or are they painting something else?
Right. Are they actually painting a portrait? A deeply personal one of their own country's history, its anxieties, its fate?